Yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you, this is for you. I am my number one fan.
Dawn?
For you,
Dawn?
yo, this is for you. I am my number one fan. For you,
what?
I am my number one fan. I'm trying to get you from here to there. I'm trying to show niggas it ain't fair. How I just came up, but you not there. Stuck in the same situation you been in. They got the plug, you got the sound. You not just a groupie that's hanging around. They got the stage, but you bring the lights. It's enough room at the top, we ain't gotta fight. I am my number one fan. I am that legend you stand for. When the crowd
it's the legends.
Yes, it is. It's us.
The Neighbors Podcast.
That BS. Hey, Reese, man.
Yo. What's up?
I just wanted to let you know, man, that I have to forgive you, man.
For what?
Well, a couple days ago, man, I know you probably didn't see me watching you or whatnot, but you ate my watermelon, man.
I did what?
You ate my watermelon.
I ate watermelon?
Yes, you did. And it was mine. And then, you know, a lot of people don't know that you don't eat watermelon.
Right.
And that you're bougie.
So that means that I lied to the people.
Yeah.
And I ate your watermelon.
So, but you know what? I'm going to take this time and this opportunity right now.
Right.
To forgive you for that.
So I'm going to ask the people out there, can y'all forgive me too? I apologize for.
I hope they can.
For lying and being deceitful and corruptible and misleading and a dummy and hungry.
Okay.
I agree. I apologize for being hungry.
That's good.
Okay.
No, y'all, we serious. You know, Reese don't eat no watermelon, y'all. So
heck no.
This was our way of introducing our topic. So today's topic is going to be on forgive and forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard, you know. And forgive is a verb, right?
It can be. It could be a verb. It could be a noun.
Right.
It could be an adjective, I guess. I mean, it all depends on how you use it.
How you use it, right?
It's like the word join.
Oh,
from Philly.
Because any joint you want to put on there, that joint would be like, damn.
Right.
But real quick, let me give you the definition of forgive. It comes in. It depends on what it is,
right,
and how you use it. You know, typically it is a verb because it's an action verb. Forgive is to. It could be transvival. I think it is that word.
Okay.
Transvive verb.
Okay.
To cease. To feel and resentment against an offender or party. Right. Mm-hmm. To give up resentment of or claim to requital. Right.
Okay.
And to grant relief from payment.
Okay.
So also we're going to talk about forgiveness. And forgiveness is basically just the act of forgiving.
Okay.
So what brought this on to us was this the act of forgiving and forgiveness, and why we decided to discuss about it was
yes.
There was an incident in Dallas, I believe it was Dallas, Texas, where a police officer had came home. It was about a year ago. Mm-hmm. She had came home and apparently she said she went into the wrong apartment and she ended up shooting this young black brother at his own home, who was sitting on his couch in his boxers.
Eating ice cream.
Eating ice cream.
Yes.
You know, so, you know, a whole year goes by. The trial was up a couple weeks ago.
Right.
They found her guilty.
Yes.
So in the process of after finding her guilty, the young man's brother embraced her.
At her sentencing.
At her sentencing, correct. At her sentencing, thank you. At her sentencing, the young man's brother, he's 18 years old, he embraced her and he gave her a hug and he forgave her for what she did to his brother. Also, I have to mention that, because I'm sure most of you have seen this, that the judge also gave her a hug. The mother also gave her a hug. And the deputy's sheriff was stroking her hair.
Yes. Okay.
So at first glance, you would think, why would somebody forgive somebody for something? You know, in particular, somebody that killed a sibling, you know, a relative of yours, someone close to you. Do you forgive somebody that fast? You know, so, you know, I had to think about that. Me particularly, I mean, you know, me being the spiritual type of guy that I am and the in training Christian that I'm trying to be. for me and from where I come from, it takes me a while to forgive you for certain things. I can't just forgive you because you were found guilty. And then she was found guilty and only got 10 years for it.
Right.
She'll be eligible for parole in 5 years.
Right.
So we'll talk about that a little later because I understand that going through the system myself and not knowing what was going on at the time and understanding stuff now. But do you forgive somebody for doing some harm to a family member or hurting you, or does it depend on the situation? How long do you have to wait to forgive this person?
So I think that it all depends on who you are as an individual.
Okay.
And as you stated, where you are in your spiritual self.
Right.
So with that being said, I think that in a situation of someone hurting my sibling, killing my sibling, my initial, because keep in mind, I think one of the key things that you said was, it's been a year.
Right.
So it's not like it happened yesterday.
Right.
And so we don't know how long it has taken for him, along with the family, to talk about it, to go through counseling. Like, we don't know his everyday situation, right? You know, so I do believe that for myself, yes, it would be hard for me to forgive. But then I think there might be a part of it where it's been a year, I could forgive. I just won't forget it. Especially, you know, if you take away my sibling and we're still young and, you know, I looked up to him or, you know, whatever our relationship might have been, like, you're still going to have a void, right? Right. Especially if you're young. But in that, I guess if you're older too, I guess you have a void too, because you know,
of course.
But you know, so whatever the void is, you know, there's one there, but we don't know his everyday state, and I think that's where I would be. I'm not sure out of all my friends, you know, family members, whoever might have tried to console me, pray for me, whatever it might have been. I can almost guarantee you, probably out of 3 people might have told me, you know, Maurice, you got to forgive. Hey, Maurice, you got to repent. Hey, Maurice, you got to do something along that spiritual realm. And I think that's where this gentleman was.
You know, it's real funny that you mentioned that, because you're the only second person I heard speak of the state of mind that this young man might have been in, because we react to things as we see them as they happen today. Right. Or as the point that we see them. Right. So nobody thought about what this young man went through this whole year. Right. Or what his mother went through this whole year. Right. Now, another brother that I had heard on another show, and he had brought up the fact that could it be that even though this woman murdered his brother, she was the last person that he seen. Mm-hmm. So the younger brother associated that with, she was the last person my brother seen. Mm-hmm. So regardless of how bad the situation was, and I went through what I went through for this year, I can forgive her for that. Now, I don't knock him for his forgiveness, his mother's forgiveness. Right. I don't think the judge should have hugged her.
Yeah, I think all the external stuff was extra. I think that's I believe, especially on social media, like they were coming at the judge like crazy. But here's the thing that I believe people are not understanding. So you can't always take things for face value. True. You have to do your research. She was supported by the Dallas Police Department as a judge. Exactly. You know, and if you don't understand that, if you don't know that, then, you know, because everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have a black judge and we're going to get, you know, our 40 acres and a mule right now. You get what I mean? But not understanding, like, wait a second, she was supported.
Right. And this is why that deputy was stroking her hair.
Right.
Because all the people forget, at one time she was on their side. Right. So that's one of their own.
Right.
You know, so they was looking out for one of their own. And we, like you said, we neglect to understand that, or we neglect to even look at that fact, because all we see was there's a black judge.
Right.
60% of the jury members were people of color.
Right.
So we like, yeah, she's going to be the first one to really get this conviction. She's going to go to jail for this amount of time. She's going to do this and going to do that. You know, so we were so hyped up about that. But then when we seen these other factors that were thrown into the story or the mix, it threw us for a loop.
Right.
And the majority of us just said, you know what? I don't like this because of this. I don't like that because of that. And we just forgot to think. Right. You know, and like what we do here at the Neighbors Podcast and in our neighborhoods and in our communities, this is what we try to do. We try to bring influential stuff to you and make people think, because we're trying to make our environments, our communities, our neighborhoods stronger and better. And the only way we can do that is to make sure that each one of us are on the same page.
Which means that we're trying to educate you.
Exactly.
One way or another.
Exactly. So, I mean, it was like, you know, of course, like my first initial was, oh, I can't believe she did that. Why did she do that? Or, you know, why did he do it? Or why that? But as you so eloquently put it, I had to think about, what did this family go through in this last year? What were the obstacles this family went through? How many times had this young man woke up in the middle of the night missing his brother?
And you know what? Here's the other thing. Because we're not in their community, you really don't know. Not just, and when I say community, not just his pastor,
right?
What they might have said, his therapist,
right? His
teachers, but you don't know what the neighbors are saying.
Correct.
You know, and I don't understand. I don't know where he lives, but I'm just going to come from the standpoint of where we live currently, Arnold. You know, where we live in the county, quote unquote, right, and which means we're right outside of the metropolitan area of Philly, right? You know, the major city. We grew up in Philly. Yeah. Let's not get it twisted.
Born and raised.
You know, we grew up in the city, but our mindset was, hey, in order for us to have a better environment for our family and children and whatever else, we migrated to the suburbs, right?
Right.
You know, so, but when we wake up every morning, who do we see?
Exactly.
We don't necessarily see just ourselves.
No, because we have a diverse neighborhood.
Right.
So we have a little bit of everything in our neighborhood.
So with that being said, can I sit here and say, I'm a damn this person to hell and all that type of stuff? It's hard to say because of where we live.
True.
You know,
but you do have people that do that.
No, and I understand.
You have people that have a general dislike for another person because of the color of their skin, because of the type of car they may drive, because of the job they may have, and people do that.
Right.
You know? And I'm not saying that's their right to do that, but you're allowed to express yourself without hurting others.
You should be able to.
Right.
You should be able to. And, you know, as you are expressing yourself, you know, people should not have their feelings so, you know, big on their sleeve where they're easily hurt.
Correct.
You know, like at least be able to listen to that person with an open mind, you know, and allow them to express themselves as you would like for them to hear you when you express yourself. You know, so in this young man's case, yes, I mean, openly, the optics look crazy. Right. At first.
Right.
Would I have asked maybe for, I mean, I can say I forgive you, but would I have asked for a hug? Probably not.
Now, the only thing that I like I say, I took issue with the judge and the deputy sheriff stroking her hair. I also took issue with the fact that, and it's not a big issue, it's just that why didn't she approach him first? Because he approached her. But understanding once again that what he went through, I don't know how his year was. I don't know what he went through. I don't know how his nights were. You know, I didn't know what he went through as far as going to church. And when I did, upon further investigation of the family was a real rooted deep in the church.
Right.
So they were very spiritual. They were very strong Christian minded.
Right.
So, and in the Bible it teaches us that you must, you know, you have to forgive.
I mean, and we don't know as long as he was able to say, I forgive you, what did that release him from a spiritual perspective?
Right, exactly.
So was he released from whatever hurt, guilt, or whatever it was for himself? Not necessarily for her, but for himself. And I think that's the part that people are losing, because it's about self-care and self-preservation. If you hate somebody so much and you harbor those feelings, he's 18 years old, right?
Correct.
In 2 years, if he still didn't forgive her, would he be like 35?
Right. Yeah.
You get what I mean? Because sometimes, and I think this goes across the board, whether, it's a baby daddy situation, whether it's a ex, relationship or feelings with your parents, whatever, sometimes you have to let some of that stuff go so you don't age so crazy.
Right. And that's what forgiveness is. To forgive someone is not for that person. It's for you.
Right.
It's so you don't hold in anything. It's so you don't harbor anything, and you don't let anything eat at you and build you up like a cancer.
Right.
So that's what it means to forgive someone. So don't think that because you forgive somebody, it's because of that person.
Right.
You forgive them because of you.
Now the other part of that is that they didn't show it, but so much. But as the young man was speaking, the judge was crying. She was bawling.
Right.
She was bawling.
Right.
So on the other hand of that, did her humanity come out when she went and hugged the lady
could
too?
be. See, it was a whole. Like I say, this is why I like these conversations,
right.
Because you can't you can't look at things one sided.
Right.
And you have to look at the whole picture.
And that's the one thing and it's interesting enough that my timeline was crazy. It was so many pastors, and I'm gonna repeat that again. So many pastors that were so against that whole process of him talking about I forgive you or whatever else. It was crazy. So it's like, yo, you are a pastor. You saying this on social media and you want people to come to your church?
Right.
And so you're saying that you don't forgive that situation, but what if I do something directly to you? Then you definitely won't forgive me, huh?
Exactly.
So what are we teaching? What are we looking at?
So I had to think about, if it was me that needed to be forgiven,
right?
Would I want the forgiveness? Majority of people would, if you have any type of humanity or any decency about yourself, you would want the forgiveness, sure. But it's not the question that do you deserve the forgiveness? Because, like I said, for a person to forgive you, it's not on you; it's on them,
right?
So it also made me think about this. Out of all the things it was something that was mentioned. And for those who know anything about Mumia, that in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, he's suspected of killing a police officer.
Right.
His name was Faulkner, I think his name was, back in the 80s. So every parole hearing, every whatever type of hearing, his wife shows up. And it's been going over 30-something years,
right.
35 plus.
Right.
And this woman has never forgiven him. So my question and statement is this. Why is it so easy for people of color to forgive people of non-color faster than it is for people of non-color to forgive people of color?
I think if anyone listens to The Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne put it in this way, and it was very interesting. He said, for those African American Christians,
right,
that have been worshiping a Caucasian Jesus, it is hard for you to forgive someone that looks like your Jesus. And because then he also says, when you talk about the Bible and how those slave masters use those scriptures against you and all those type of things, now as you are, now you have this moment of where the authorities, quote unquote, are against you. How do you really uprise against those that you've already been suppressed by, whether it's been from a legal perspective or from a religious perspective? I mean, he didn't say it that way. That's just my takeaway. Right. I'm trying to shorten it, but how do you in that case?
Right.
If you've been looking at this Caucasian Jesus forever and been shown like, hey, white is right, again, those that read the Bible understand that he was not necessarily white.
Right.
Now, could he have been a lighter, fairer skin? But that's not what the Bible says.
You mean he could have been my complexion?
He could have been, but that's not what the Bible says.
With a nice tan.
No, that's not what the Bible says.
But bronze, that bronze skin.
Yeah, right.
Hair like wool.
But
feet like burnt amber.
But see, that again, that's not what has been ingrained in us as Christians.
Correct. Because during the time of slavery, the slave masters did use religion and the Bible to keep us down, and they omitted certain passages
right
out of the Bible. Anything that had to do with uprising, anything that had to do with like they didn't talk about Moses as much. They didn't talk about the fact that Moses freed the slaves. A lot of things like that they did not discuss because they used the Bible as a deterrent to keep you where you are.
Right.
And we've seen that with Nat Turner because that was his job. At one time, he was the guy, he was the pastor or the preacher or the deliverer of the word that would go from plantation to plantation and pacify the Negroes or the slave into being more docile toward the master through religion. So I can see why a lot of people they forgive the fairer skin quicker than they would a person that looks like them.
So let's even go further back than just slavery.
Okay.
When you have the Roman Emperor Constantine.
Yeah, we all know about him. 325 AD.
So when you understand that what Constantine, being a Roman emperor, what his role was in the Christian church, no longer persecuting Christians and things like that. When you understand even just your own, if you're a Christian, your own path has been what?
Oh, it's supposed to be white clean.
So
and you walk a certain way now.
Right. But what I'm getting at is that again, who was that person or what did it look like moving forward?
Right.
You get what I mean? So as you look at again just Christianity as a whole, as a walk, it has had a certain image of it.
Right.
Again, when you think about Roman and that whole empire, right? Or any major empire that has overtaken another, land, what did they do? They took their own image and planted it everywhere and destroyed everything else.
Right.
Right? So as you understand that hey, now Christianity, we're going to put this one face on it and that's what it's going to be. Even though the Bible says one thing, but that's not the image that you see every day. Right. That's not the image that you see on stained glass windows. That's again, all of that who like myself. I mean, I had to take for one of my artistic classes in college.
Right.
I had taken a architectural type class, and it was an art history class, and understanding the periods of time and what every type of building that's out there, why it was constructed the way it was, what it looked like, understanding that, hey, the Romans have this obelisk that looks like this, and the Greeks have one that looks like this, and the Egyptians have one that looks like this, and each one looks the exact same way, but each one is, quote unquote, talking about Christianity, being Roman, or the one where the Egypts are actually talking about their Egyptian gods.
Right.
So basically, which one is which? So for those persons who have had their own history, who's been educated, whatever else, I think that's why right now, because everyone is so educated, lines are blurred. You don't know what to do about this, that, and the other, and so we can't really truly understand this one individual's walk being, hey, I forgive this person. Hey, I want to be wiped clean from this. I think it's more of from a juvenile kid perspective, because even in the Bible, it says, you have to walk like you're a kid.
Right.
You have to come from a kid's perspective, and I can't remember exactly what it says, so forgive me not wording it correctly. Don't crucify me. But, and I think that's the reason why we as adults, we get lost because we lose our youthfulness, our moments of being I can't say carefree, but just moments of just enjoying life. We get so caught up in all this other dumb stuff that we lose really who we are, and I think we lose our humanity. Again, kids are taught at whatever particular age, they're taught racism. They don't come out being racist.
True. That's very true.
You get what I mean?
Racism is a learned thing.
Same thing with Christianity. So is Islam, Judaism.
Right.
Anything is all taught.
Right.
It's not something that has to be like you just come out and be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. I'm Buddhist. So I think all of that makes a difference. And with this young man, I feel for him because I don't know what his life is like today. Once he had done that and taken that moment of forgiveness and is out there for the world, what is his social media like? Because I know what mine was like when I saw it. Like, I felt bad for him.
Right.
I felt bad for him. I felt like he was being attacked. And he, it's like, he probably don't even know, all 18,000 of y'all that hates his guts, but in reality, should he care?
No, not really, because once again, his forgiveness was for him.
Right.
So everything that he did for him and his family. So whatever he needed to get through his next day or his next moment, he did.
Right.
Like I said, I don't fault him for that, because placed in that situation, we don't know what we would do a year later after that.
Right.
So we cannot fault him for that. It's so easily to just go to the negative sometimes, because the negative has become the narrative of a lot of things in a lot of situations. So it's so easy to go there and to fall to that,
Yeah.
But, and like I said, we can like, not only was your social media going crazy, everybody's social media was going crazy.
Yeah, I'm just saying
it was just so much, I've learned that you can't always speak on what a person does unless you walk in their shoes.
Well, I mean, my thing is that, like you said, social media in general was going crazy. I was just so surprised of the people that were commenting and their status in their community.
Well, that lets you know where certain people think. And once you get the opportunity to listen to a person or talk to a person's always going to, you cannot hide your true nature.
Right.
So it's always going to come out.
Right.
So that's always going to come out. So even though you may see a person, you're like, this person is happy every day.
Mm-hmm.
When you see them, they're happy.
Right.
Are they happy when they're alone?
Right. When they close that door, what's up?
When they close that door, when they're in that car drive to work in the morning, or, when they get into their cubicle, or if they drive trucks or whatever they do, are they happy then? So we don't know what a person goes through. We never know a person's story unless that person explains or tells us their story, and I got to keep saying it, man. I commend this young man for him to be where he's at in his life at 18 years of age, because we need to take a lesson from that as a community, as a neighborhood, as a race of people. We need to start doing that toward each other. We need to start forgiving each other of certain things, and then. And time heals all wounds if you allow it.
But I think there's too many people that hold on to crap and just hold on for no reason.
Well, I think that's because we don't know. We're not taught to let that go.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's so. I do understand that people keep saying, "Oh yeah, you need to forget about the whole 40 acres and a mule," right?
Right.
And I think that because of where we are. In society and just time-wise from slavery, I mean, have we forgiven? Well, I would say 99.999 are not directly affected by it, that are still alive today.
Right.
That are alive.
Right. That are alive, that are actually affected by the results. Technically, we all are affected by the results of slavery.
But I'm talking about those that lived it.
Those that lived it are no longer there. But we lived through it. It's the act of what was going on is in our DNA.
Right.
It's passed down from generation to generation.
And that goes through everybody.
Right.
So those that were slave owners, yes, you have that mindset of, hey, I have a superiority complex, right? But let's keep this in mind too. Slave owners were not just white.
Yeah, they had some black slave owners too.
Yeah,
they had some African slave owners. They
did.
They had some Spanish slave owners. They had a lot of different people that
I just want to be clear that, hey, if from the neighborhood perspective, we understand that it was not all one way.
Correct.
It's put out there that way.
Correct.
I
think that it's only put out there that way because of people want to hear about the era here, what happened here.
I mean, there were some black slave owners here too.
Yeah, it was not a lot though. It wasn't like it was as many as it was Caucasian.
No, I wouldn't say that either.
And just like we both know,
right,
that they were indigent slaves that were white.
Right.
That were Native American.
Right.
That was people that needed to get boat rides to America.
Right.
And they was in servitude to certain individuals for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Because they signed a piece of paper. You want to get over here, this is what you got to pay.
So let me ask you this. What do you think about those that, because, the country of Brazil had more slaves than we did here in the United States?
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
So again, that's where people have to understand, like, what is the true history of slavery? And like you said about forgiveness, because right now they're going through a whole situation where the police are killing 5 people a day.
Right. Yeah. Their police are. I think Brazil and 2 more other countries in South America have like the worst as far as the police are concerned.
Right.
And they just kill people at will.
And so what they're talking about with that is those 5 people that are being killed today is that slave group that's being killed by the police.
Right.
Or a former slave group. Should they, in their mind, should they have that power of forgiveness? Even though, you killed, because I think the other day they killed like 5 kids or something like that.
And again, it has to go into how the person is spiritually.
Right.
And how does the individual feel about what happened?
And
so we can sit here and debate this, all day and for 2 or 3 days. And we're still going to come up with the same conclusion.
Well, keep in mind, y'all, Arnold and I have yet to really say what we feel. I don't know if y'all caught on yet.
Yeah.
Because we're spinning it. We're putting a lot of ideas out there, and I'm doing it for a reason.
Right,
I want y'all to tell me what y'all think.
Yeah, because I'm sure everybody has an opinion on this one.
Right. And we will definitely comment on what you say and give you a little better taste of how we feel as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Does Arnold really forgive me for eating this watermelon? Did I really eat it, or did I toss it down the street? No. You get what I mean?
No, I do not.
Did I throw it up in the air and hit it with a bat? Like, what did I really do with that watermelon?
It does not matter.
I destroyed it. I got rid of it. Whether I had eaten it, killed it, put flies in it, I don't care what I had done. I got rid of it, right? So does he forgive me for that?
Now I'm ready to take my forgiveness back.
So
because now I'm having second thoughts. You're making me think too much.
But see, that's where I want our neighbors to do. I want y'all to really think about what's really going on.
Correct.
And are we really at a place where we should forgive people or not? Because as Arnold said earlier, we don't forgive ourselves for whatever reason.
Right.
We're so hard on ourselves, and we don't forgive that. Hey, yeah, we did we made a U-turn the other day and we got a ticket. Like, can we forgive ourselves for something dumb like that? Sometimes people don't do that.
They don't. Right. Yeah.
And some people say, hey, I hate the fact that I chose this person as my baby daddy. Well, at that time, you didn't know what the situation was. It was a moment of love or a heat of the moment, one night, whatever it might have been. It could have been so many different aspects to, the situation, but you have to be able to forgive yourself. You have to love yourself. And I think that's one of the things that we miss as a community. I think sometimes we really, we miss loving ourselves, loving on ourselves.
We do. I was just sitting here looking at something. This guy, he has 15 methods or 15 steps to forgiveness. And I just happened to be looking at this number 9.
Uh-huh.
And what it is, it said to be kind instead of right. Meaning that if you don't want to seek revenge on something, because it's good to forgive. So they have this Chinese proverb which I'm sure a lot of us have already heard this. If you're going to pursue revenge, you better dig 2 graves. And the author, the guy that his equation to this was that it was saying to him that your resentments will destroy you, which is true. And also there's another thing he has in here. It says the world is just the way it is. A lot of people do think that because the way things are, we think, well, that's just how the world is right now. And that's not necessarily true, because the people who are behaving badly in the world or doing what they're supposed to do is a wrong statement. But you can process this any way you wish to choose. Mm-hmm. You could be filled with anger with all those problems, or you can be one more person who contributes to the pollution of anger. Or instead of doing that, you can act like that you have no need to make others wrong or to retaliate when you have been wrong. Meaning that you're in control of your situation and you're in control of your actions. You're in control of everything that you do and say and how you react to what is being done to you and said to you. So forgiveness is a good thing. Sometimes it's really hard to forgive. It really is. But before you do forgive, I just want you to make sure that you're forgiving for the right reasons. Don't just be doing it because Reese ate my watermelon and he's my friend. And I just really want him to continue to be my friend. But I didn't like the fact that he ate my watermelon.
I mean, I don't think nobody really care about you and your watermelon.
See that? That's how I know he ate it.
And
his bougie ass.
So if y'all don't know why we keep talking about this stupid watermelon, y'all got to go back to a couple shows ago.
Yes. Revisit all our shows, y'all.
Right. And if y'all could tell us what show that was, I don't know, we might have a little special gift for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
We might think about that for a second. But, again, should y'all forgive?
Yeah.
Should we forgive ourselves? Should we forgive that officer? Do we keep our humanity? Do we look past the color?
Mm-hmm.
Do we? And when I say color, that doesn't necessarily mean the skin, because remember they keep talking about blue lives matter also.
Correct.
Color. So, so I want y'all to really think about that. And, again, heads up on social media. To our number one fan, Dawn, I would love to hear what you got to say on your Facebook Live and see what your people got to say about this. I really would love to know what y'all have to say.
Yes.
And to all my spiritual religious friends, again, I just it threw me back, just what some of you had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I was really shocked. And sometimes I'm just a little curious as to, I understand what the word says in the Bible, but how do you teach something that you don't believe in yourself?
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
I mean, it's easy to even though it may seem like they're wrong, but I'd rather it come out that certain things that they disagree with, because people are allowed to disagree.
No. I'm not saying that they're wrong.
Right.
All I'm saying is that I'm just surprised because some people have put out there on social media, oh yeah, I did this thing wrong, can y'all forgive me? But when it's time for someone to forgive you, something
for you
else,
to forgive them, you won't forgive them.
Right.
And that's what I was talking about.
You get what I
with
mean?
As far as us as being a race of people, because a lot of times we don't forgive each other for nothing.
Right.
And we should start doing that.
Oh yeah, I was in this meeting and the lady in the back, she said this and that and the other, and and you could basically say, you could tell in their voice and how they're responding, like, yo, I'm gonna hold on to that forever.
Right.
And it's like, now here's a situation where this gentleman talked about forgiveness, and you want to be forgiven for whatever dumb stuff you had done.
Exactly. So I like to give you guys homework every now and then. So this is your task for the week. Try to forgive someone for anything. I don't care what it is. Somebody may have cut you off. Even if you just say it, if you don't even directly say it to them, if you just forgive them for what the actions that they have done to you, let us know about it. And just let us know how you felt after you forgave them. Whether you felt bad about it or you felt good about it. Just let us know. So that's your homework for the week, your task for the week. to just forgive one person, or it could be your cat, your dog. I don't care.
So we have another neighbor who listens to our show. And actually, we have a few of our neighbors that live on our block that listen to our show.
We do.
So if we go up and down our block and just put bonfires on y'all yards, I want y'all to forgive me beforehand.
Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it.
I just want to forget. I'm
gonna help you. I'm gonna help y'all put it out, y'all.
I mean, he'll help you put it out, but I'm gonna start it. So I want to see if y'all forgive somebody then. So that'll be part of your homework. Can y'all start with me? Can y'all forgive me first? Can y'all do that?
Yeah, they can. I believe they can.
Well, look, you can't forgive me about the stupid watermelon. You get what I mean? So let's see how petty.
I forgive you, my brother.
I want to see how petty the rest of my neighbors are.
I forgive you.
So, but we love y'all a lot.
Everybody have a blessed week.
And we forgive y'all today.
Yes.
For not sharing with us. But I know tomorrow y'all have to share our show. Okay? And then the day after, you need to respond to your homework. Have you forgiven somebody?
Mm-hmm.
And also, let us know what your thoughts are on this particular case.
Right. Please do.
We really would like to hear from y'all.
So we thank you for all that you guys do for us, all the comments, all the likes, all the shares that you do for us, y'all. And we really appreciate you coming to our neighborhood every week.
Right. And keep in mind, you are part of the neighborhood.
Exactly.
We're not on our Mr. Rogers, but, we love y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all. So I hope that y'all have a great week and love y'all. Peace.
Peace.
You are the agent and we look for change. You conquered the pressure and you did not fall, but you are a diamond and worth more than gold.